Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Nice little 5-0 sweep, baby, on Friday. Looking really good now, 11-2 in the last 3 days of betting WNBA. Let's keep it rolling. I got 5 plays, plus I put together a same game parlay in addition to those. So I am going to be dishing out $50 if we sweep everything but the same game parlay. So if we go 5-0 on the straight bets here, then we're going to go ahead and give $50 to anybody who jumps into the comments of the video. Give me your best bet of the day. If I do go 5-0, I'll go ahead and randomly choose one of the people who does comment and get them the $50 for winning. Quick reminder as well, Discord is live. Link is in the description of the video. Highly recommend jumping into that. Let's get into Sunday. As mentioned, 5-0 on Friday, looking really good over the last couple of days, betting the W on the season now. Really liking the way this is coming together here, 54-36 on the season, up 14.5 units now, climbing in those player props as well. Got above 6 units made there. Also the 1-0 on the side there as the Sky did cover 2 points. Really, really nice. So let's keep it going on Sunday. First game up, we got Sun taking on the feisty, getting healthy Atlanta Dream. We should make clear a lot of players back for them, but for this Sun squad, the key thing to talk about here is whether or not Dejanay Carrington is playing. Marina Mabrey just came over in the trade. First game back, Dejanay Carrington is out with personal reasons. So we're not really sure still to right now why it is that she missed last game or if she's going to be back for the game on Sunday. Does impact things a bit for Connecticut. And like I said, that Dream team's getting healthy. Only person probably not playing for the Dream now is going to be Aerial Powers. But as you can see, everybody is back here. We got Ryan Howard, fresh off a 30-point game in their nice win versus the Storm in the first game back just now. And then they've also got Jordan Canada back. She joins Tina Charles. So they've got some depth now in the front court, and they look a lot better and like the team that we thought was going to make a bit more noise before the season started. Head-to-head, not really close, but like I said, the Dream have not been playing with their full roster all year. For Connecticut, really, really good, obviously. Third best in offensive rating and defensive rating, and their offense is probably going to continue to get a bit better now that Marina Mabrey is in town, coming over from the Sky, playing at the slowest pace, but the best rebounding team in the league. So you know what you're getting from the Sun. Choppy play, really good defense, and effective, efficient offense. Not impressive quite so much the Atlanta Dream here and their sort of overarching stats on the season. Worst offense in the league, 7th in defense. And they've been really good at defense at times. They have a ton of really good wing defenders, especially with Howard back. Jordan Canada is now back to help out. So they're going to continue to get better on defense. They'll get a little better on offense. But key thing to take away here is they play slow and they rely on defense and rebounding. However, they're only going to get better at all of the things here. So expect them to continue to improve. If you're going to beat the Sun, you need to limit their free throws. You need to limit their ability to get to the basket and to move the ball really well with a ton of assists and their point guard, if you will, in Alyssa Thomas. They do rely on free throws. They rely on second chance points. They rely on getting into the paint and getting those turnovers, right? So that's going to be what you see from them moving forward. It's going to be a lot of grinded out sort of bully ball, a lot less shooting, but Marina Mabrey being in there is going to improve that 3-point shot. The Dream are a pretty good defense, but middle of the pack in all of these key stats in terms of how they are going to match up against this Sun offense. Middle of the pack, opponent free throws, opponent second chance points, the amount of turnovers that turn into points against the Dream, and their 3-point stuff, right? They're middle of the pack in all of it. So it's not really like there's an edge either way, to be honest. If anything, the Sun offense should outshine the Dream defense. Only other thing I want to show you from this game before we get to the bet that I do have for it, the Dream don't really have anything that they do exceptionally well on offense. They do get to the free throw line. They've got some really good driving guards. Alicia Gray is definitely being one of them. Aerial Powers would be out there, but you know they are a grinded out team. Ryan Howard also capable of driving to the basket and knocking down the 3-ball like she did. But there's really nothing that you look at and you go, wow, this team should dominate this aspect of the game on the offensive side of the ball. My best bet for this game, going with Marina Mabrey, and we get plus money, putting a half a unit on it because there's still some unknown. I really like this matchup for her no matter what. The thing standing in my way of going for a full unit is whether or not Dejanay Carrington is playing. We do know Tiffany Mitchell is out for this Sun squad. Should free up a few more shots for Mabrey. But if Carrington's out there, that's the person eating into her usage. And we don't even know if Marina Mabrey's officially in the starting lineup like she was last game. I would imagine Carrington and Mabrey do start together, but Tyasha Harris has been played in the last game because there was no Dejanay Carrington. So minutes are still a little bit unknown. I don't quite understand the rotation yet after just one game for Mabrey, without Carrington. So half a unit is because this is a great matchup against a dream team that gives up really a lot of stuff from the spot up, a lot of stuff from players who are coming off screens, which is what off-ball guard Marina Mabrey wants to do. So that's why I love this matchup for her. Just can't really feel too comfortable about the projected minutes or usage for her yet, because we need to see what happens when Carrington officially comes back. Next up, we got the Storm. They're in Indiana taking on the Fever here, and everybody healthy for the Storm, as you can see. So they're really looking to make a pretty good run here towards the end of the season, with most of their team now fully healthy and intact. Similar case for the Fever, although they are still without Temi Fagbenle, so she might not play in this one. Looks like she's probably more towards doubtful than actually questionable. That's going to be the only person that you do see unavailable for the Fever. Head-to-head stuff for the Storm. Still relying on defense, but that defense turns into offense. So they play with a pretty good pace because they get a ton of points off of turnovers, because that defense on the perimeter is so stifling with Skylar Diggins-Smith. Also got Jewel Lloyd out there. Plenty of depth, too, in the guard position for Seattle. Big reason why they don't give up threes and why they play so fast, why they're not as good rebounding or defending down low, but that perimeter defense is maybe only second to Minnesota. The Fever are super interesting because they don't do anything exceptionally well. They've been playing with some pace. Offensive rating a little bit better than defense, and that's definitely going to be the case consistently for them, is that they're much better on the offensive side of the floor, but they're pretty much middle of the pack in everything, to be honest with you, whether it's rebounding, shooting, pace, This is just basically an average team, but trending upward for sure. On offense for the Storm, if you want to beat them, you really just need to limit what they do in transition and really in the paint as well. They drive into the paint, they get in there. The three ball has not been falling for them, to be honest. So like I was saying, it's really about their pressure on defense, turning that into easy buckets on offense, but don't expect too many threes to keep falling for them. They should get better. I'm actually really surprised how poorly Jewel Lloyd has been shooting all season. That said, probably will improve. Even if it doesn't, this team has been, the calling card for them has been space, pace, and keep that ball in transition. That might be a problem for Indiana. I do lean towards Seattle to win this game because the Fever are not very good in transition on defense. They turn the ball over too often, which turns into points in transition. They give up a ton of fast break points. They're good defending the paint. I will say that. Third fewest points that they're allowing in the paint, so good for them on that. Everywhere else, threes made, etc., going to be a problem for the Fever. And here you can kind of see what I'm talking about with the Fever being average. Fourth best in terms of points in the paint, so they are getting down there and scoring a decent amount closer to the basket, but second chance points, 8th. Fast break points, 7th. You want to talk about pretty much any of the other key stats, whether it's free throw attempts or the ability for them to really turn those turnovers into points. All that stuff really middle of the pack for them. Nothing stands out too great. And that Storm defense is very, very good. I do have a few props for Caitlin Clark, though, and they're all under. So we've got under 20.5 points. That's a half a unit, minus 115. Much more confidence in the under 9.5 dimes, minus 115. Both of those things she's only done in 8 out of 27 games in terms of going over both those numbers. She's averaging 17.6 points, 8.3 assists. That's all in 35 minutes, which we know she's going to play around that as long as this game is close. And I expect it to be close, to be honest. But this is a tough matchup against a very, very good defense on the perimeter for Seattle, like I've now mentioned a couple times. So I'm actually going to also take the other half a unit that I'm not putting on the 20.5 point prop bet here. I'm going to put a half unit on the under points and a half a unit on a same game parlay for both of these plays here, under 20.5 points combined with under 9.5 assists. That gets you plus 242 on DraftKings. So putting another half a unit on that. I feel so confident in the assists. We're going to go with a full unit there and then split the unit with the points on the points and the same game parlay. So just not something that she's done that often. And now she's finding herself in a matchup against a very, very good defense that has limited her to under 10 assists in all 3 matchups, under the points in 2 of the 3. And they're very good at limiting above the break threes and limiting assists in general to the other team. So not a good matchup for Cece. Obviously, she's a great player, but we're going under and a same game parlay with both of these plays. Got to interrupt myself real quick to also remind everybody about outlier.bet. Link in the description of the video will take you right there. You can go ahead and get a free week worth of trial there to see if you do like it. I highly recommend it. Best sports betting tool that I'm using out there right now. Really great one-stop shop for both sides, totals, player props, and whatever else you might want. So definitely check it out. Get yourself a free week by using the link in the description of the video, and then go ahead and see if it's good enough for you to go ahead and purchase. We are going to finish here with the Sky in Phoenix, taking on the Mercury. Injuries, big deal here for the Sky, because if Kennedy Carter isn't playing, this is an easy take the Mercury -7.5, to be honest with you. I still think that the Mercury are in a much better position to handle this Sky squad, which they just did without Kennedy Carter in Chicago. So now we get them at home. It's just really about if Carter plays, but still really liking the Mercury a little bit more. Phoenix is probably still going to be without Rebecca Allen. Just makes me like stuff for Brittany Griner even more, to be honest. When she plays without Rebecca Allen, she does a little bit better, especially on the boards. So we'll see. I do think this is going to be a game that they win, but I don't know that it's going to be a blowout. So I still think minutes are probably intact for most of the players here for Phoenix. You can see the Mercury pretty good on at home here in terms of their 8-4 against the spread record. Also the same thing for them at home overall as well. So they are and have been a much better team at home. For Chicago, they've been pretty much the same team, actually a little bit better on the road in terms of covering, whether that's the spread or winning outright. As far as the head-to-head stuff, pretty much the same thing with what we saw when they matched up a couple days ago. Phoenix still a much better offensive team than it is defense, wants to play with pace, also wants to get those three balls up, and has gotten a few more points in the paint as we've gotten some Brittany Griner getting healthier. For Chicago, the only thing that they really do that stands out is get rebounds, and that's because Angel Reese has been an absolute beast on the boards all season. Really high rebound prop once again at about 13.5, although the points dipped down to 12.5 for her. Either way, not much else here that you see impresses you about what the Chicago Sky have done so far this year. As mentioned now, Phoenix does want to shoot the three. It's what they do better than anything, and they've been getting to the free throw line. You've seen Brittany Griner come in, even Natasha Mack when she's been out there, forcing their way to the free throw line. That has been helpful for them to get easy buckets. Still going to be really crucial that they hit threes, though, if they're planning on winning this game. Chicago in their own right, pretty good three-point defense, top 4 in both limiting attempts and makes to their opponent. They will give up free throws, though, and that's going to be the problem that could resurface for them, what they saw in this last game against the Mercury, giving up too many free throws to players like Griner. Big reason why she had so many points in that game. Could be a similar affair if they keep fouling like they have been. For Chicago on offense, it all comes down to sort of helter-skelter ball, whether it's playing in transition, forcing turnovers, mucking it up in the paint, getting offensive rebounds. That's going to be the way that they continue to try to win games. Phoenix gotten a lot better at limiting that stuff, even though they still have a decent way to go till they're in the top half of the league. Favorite bet from this game is to go under on Camila Cardoso, and she's been an impressive rookie. I will give her that, but this number is just way too high. Probably looking at somewhat skewed stats when it comes to how bad Phoenix has been because Griner missed the first part of this season. Big reason why they don't look as good as they probably are at limiting stuff down low. And Cardoso, this is just a really, really high number for her. You can see under this in 14 of the 20 games this year, averaging 16.5 points and rebounds combined in 26.2 minutes. So not a really strong number here for her to go over if you're looking at it. And Phoenix is up to the best, fifth best defense, limiting makes inside of 5 feet. They were in the bottom like 2 or 3 for most of the season before Griner came back and started to help them really elevate their ability to limit stuff down low. So for Cardoso, the rebounds are way too high, to be honest, about 9.5. I'm adding the points in there because actually, if you look at the points and rebounds combined, this number is one she's gone under more frequently than just the points or the rebounds by themselves. Weirdly enough, this is my favorite side in the slate as well, which is the Mercury to cover 7.5 points. If Kennedy Carter isn't playing, this is a very, very good bet. If Kennedy Carter is playing, still think it's a pretty good bet, especially because you get a little bit of sort of space in terms of the how good the Mercury are at home. That gives us a little bit more cushion in terms of what I think they can win this game by. If there is no Kennedy Carter, this should be double digits and about 9.5 points. If she is there, I still think it's fair, but I'm willing to take it in the event that she misses one more game here. Sky playing their third game in 4 nights. And that is all the time that I have for you guys. One more reminder, jump in the comments. Let me know what your best bet is for today. If I sweep all of the straight bets here, don't worry about the same game parlay, then I will be giving out $50 to whomever has jumped in there and given those comments. Going to get one lucky person, randomize it, and pick whoever did actually come into the comments and let me know what you guys are thinking. $50 if we sweep, so let's get it.